Ah!
Hi, everyone. I'm Wa.
And I'm Chris, and welcome to Docu Sweeties.
We're two longtime friends who discuss the riveting and sometimes trashy world of reality TV and docuseries.
Sure, but through our own lens, which can be a little bitter, can be a little salty, definitely a little spicy, but at the end of the day, hopefully mildly sweet. Hi, guys. Today we'll be talking about Love After Lockup. Yes, this is episode 16 of the season that is 4. It could be considered Life After Lockup. We don't know. Let's call this one Lost and Found.
Ooh. Ooh. All right. So there's so much that got lost and found in this episode, including I feel what happened is Destiny has lost her mind,
Yeah.
her absolute mind.
But
And
Sean has found a new level of his relationship with his son.
which is absolutely problematic, girl. I had so many thoughts about it.
No, I know.
Okay, so let's start off with our first couple, and we are going to be starting out with Brittany and Marcelino. I truly don't know how much of this is fake, but I don't know. So we start with a messy bun wearing female producer.
No, yeah. At first, it's like we don't know where Marcelo is, and then we see like the producers being like, "Where is he? Oh, he's just over there." And then we see a woman run up to a car in the middle of an intersection with a messy bun, and I'm like, "Oh, is this his boo?" Because she's like, "Hi, we need to talk." And then we realize, no, that's just the producer, honey, who looks like she hasn't showered in years, and it also looks like this is her first gig out of prison as well. Like, is that what she got? I mean, this, I don't know, because I'm just like, you're a producer on a show? Like, you look smelly.
Wow, that man's name is Marcelino. But yes, production did find him. Production found him, and he didn't want to be found. Someone spotted him at a gas station, and I said, "Y'all are effing weird. Y'all are traveling around Las Vegas looking for this man on street corners, and you found him at a gas station, and then ran up to him like cops. It was weird." And so then they're like, "Where are you? Like, where have you been? What have you been doing?" And he's like, "First of all, I don't owe anybody any explanation about anything. Okay, like I was driving around trying to clear my head." Which is such a cheater thing to say. You were not driving around trying to clear your head, okay? You were in a gambling hall with a hoe on your lap. That's where you were.
Yeah. No, he's so weird. Like, he is so closed off. I mean, and Brittany feels it.
I try to do everything, for my family, for Brittany, and it seems like she's not really interested in me, and I don't want my marriage to end like this, but I'm doing everything I can.
No, you're not doing everything you can. But we then we cut to where we cut back to the house the next day after he's gotten home, and the again, messy hair producer, like, knocky knock knock, I still haven't showered, God bless. And he comes to the door, he's like, "Yeah, Brittany didn't come home, like, I haven't talked to her." And my first thought was like, okay, so last time we heard, like, Brittany had talked to her mom. Her mom was like, "I'm still with the kids." Then she was like, "Marcelino, see, like, get your ass to the house, because like my mom's still there." And then from what we know, like, it was hours afterward, the Marcelina gets back to the house, and we're like, "Brittany, you like didn't even like help your mom out. Like, you just left your kids with your mom, being like, 'Where is he?'" And then Brittany like lost her mind. Oh, that's something else that was lost. She lost, honey. She lost brain cells, honey, because Brittany went on a bender, and she wakes up in a hotel with 1 billion different drinks on the, like, next to her. Honey, she's been up all night. There's coffee, there's like 4 cans of like something, there's also like Aquafina bottles, there's probably like a Sunny Delight. I'm not quite sure what's on that bedspan. It's a lot. But the messy haired producer is like on the hunt, and so she like goes to the hotel room, and she like walks in, and the first thing we see is like Shannon. I actually wrote it down. I was like, is that her name? Shannon's butt. I mean, Shannon's butt, just like, not a care in the world. And then it just like gets back in bed. And these two women look run through. They look like they've been rode hard and putting away wet, honey. I mean, I don't know what you guys drank last night. It was like 17 bottles of something and more. Wow.
Yeah, and then they ask Marcelino when, like, haven't you tried to, find her? And Marcelino's response is, "Well, I'm not search and rescue and recovery. I'm not a part of the search team. She knows where she lives." And I'm like, you don't even care if she's alive. Like, first of all, is it that you saw her location on your phone and so you knew she was at least somewhere safe? But you got to care. And it's not about search and rescue, fool. It's about caring that your wife is still alive. Okay. And yeah, so Brittany and Shannon laying in that bed. Brittany's thing is like, yeah, so me and Shannon, took a bath and like got in the bed and just cuddled. And I said to myself, this is like one step farther than what Chris would do, but like I could absolutely see you like being like, let's take a non-weird bath and then like go to sleep.
We have before. What do you mean you could see that? We have.
I know, which is why I was like, oh, Chris understands what just happened because she has done this to me. And we have done that. And I'm like, but we were not drunk, nor were we waking up like shady, being weird about it. Like this. So I'm like, y'all cuddled and then diddled is what happened. There was diddling and cuddling involved. So don't act like, oh, we're women. We can just shower, get in the bed naked together. And what? And then this whole campaign against Amanda, I said, Shannon, this is very high school. It's like Shannon wants to be Brittany's best friend, and now she found a way to become Brittany's best friend by throwing Amanda under the bus. So she's completely like blowing oxygen on the flame to get Brittany riled up about Amanda and the supposed shower pic that Marcelino sent to Amanda while Brittany was alone in the bed, just sad. And I just was like, I don't understand this scene. This is real acting. These are actors, Chris.
Yeah, no, you are absolutely right. Amanda, from what I remember, because it was like first season, like Marcelino like wasn't even into Amanda. So now we're into this thing where for some reason of all the women in the world that Marcelino is going to try and like hook up with behind his wife's back, it's his wife's ex-girlfriend / friend that like his wife begged him to like bone or whatever. Yeah, Brittany is like one of those in like Victorian sleepover sister lesbians. You know what I'm saying? Like where it's like, I feel like in like the Victorian area, like people would just like girls would have sex and they didn't know what lesbianism was. They just thought it was like, oh, it's a time in which we like snuggle in bed. If you're a lesbian, like you want to do that, or you're bi, you want to do that. Like you're bi, you like, yeah, I get that. Like you think, you just want to have sex with girls and like, it just seems real safe and real cuddly and like girls are awesome. And like, we're already in a codependent relationship with some women, I understand that. I mean, it's so funny because I could be in a bed with Wah and I have 1 billion times and I've been like barely naked and there'll never be a time when Wah and I touch in bed. We have slept in the same bed 1 billion times over the course of like 14 years. And there's not one time in which one of us has wanted to, much less cuddle. It's too hot to even touch each other. Like if our bodies come in contact, it's like a big flail to get away from the other, Like, it's not even. Hell are you touching me for? Go back to your side of the queen.
Ay, no me gusta. But let me just bring up this picture of Shannon to really show about the fear and loathing in Las Vegas that we saw. Mama.
No. The glasses. She has like lip filler. Can you see the lip filler now, Wah?
I can never see the lip filler, but I believe you.
Okay. They're like, yeah, I also think that one thing Shannon has over Amanda is like the ability to give Brittany free tattoos, which guess what? She loves.
This was like, yeah, you really got a great snapshot of this, the celebrity look like.
Yeah. She does look like Roseanne Barr. That was a tweet. It wasn't my idea, but that was a tweet. So Amanda's like, okay, she talks to Amanda. Amanda has like sent over screenshots, like look over the screenshots, a lot more screenshots and dick pics that Marcelino had sent Amanda that Brittany didn't know about. Now Brittany wants to like go and talk to Amanda about it, but she does call Marcelino and is basically like, get out of the house when I want to come home and hang out with the kids. But first, I guess I'm going to go talk to Amanda and like get it off her plate. And then she also was smoking a cigarette in this hotel. This hotel is not anything I want to go to. Can you imagine when I smelled? I'm like, oh my God, in the bed. Ash was just in the bed. This is why. Listen, I might be bougie, but like there's a reason why my first and foremost idea is like, what is American Express fine hotels and resorts? Like what hotels would they recommend? Because in this mind, In this scene, I'm like, I can't ever stay at this hotel, and nor a billion hotels. This is what they do there.
Did you just call him Monster Lino?
I don't think so, but I would have loved it.
So we have a scene where Brittany then gets out of the bed and dressed somehow, and it's dark, and she's already told Marcelino that she's not coming home and she would appreciate it if he would be gone by the time she got there. So now at this point, Brittany has been gone since the middle of the day, like Tuesday, and then doesn't come home until Wednesday night. Like she's fully been gone for a minute, okay?
Mhm.
And doesn't want him there when she gets home, and she's boo-hooing on the way home. And all I can think is, girl, do not get in a car accident. Because let me tell you something about me. If I start crying while driving, I must pull over because I inevitably will kill someone because my eyes are blurry. I'm unable to focus. Like crying and driving is not it's not it, sis. It's not it. So I was real worried that she was going to crash that garish red Mercedes that she's purchased for herself. She gets home and she locks the producers out. And I just am, these poor producers, they have been run amok between Brittany and Marcelino and this Tuesday night in Las Vegas. They have been to and fro and been put through it. And we can see it by Messy Bun and the way she has looked.
Yep. She loves that plaid pashmina that she keeps wearing. The same one she had at her real estate thing. I also just hate the idea, and I've done it. We've all done it. I hate crying and driving. You're absolutely right. Nothing's worse than just like, and then you like look over, you're like, do they know I'm crying? And like, are they sad about it too? You know, like I've had it 1 billion times like that. I have nothing else to say about them. I don't know if this is real or fake. So God bless.
Who knows? Let's move on. The next couple that we are going to talk about are Sean and Sarah. Look at Sean and his stupid fucking face.
No, I was going to do it. No, I was going to do it. If you guys are watching on Patreon, there's not a time in which we don't put up a picture of Sean that I can't immediately put up this picture of Butthead from Beavis and Butthead. It's overwhelming me. It's like they're wearing the exact same color shirt. Their hair looks the exact same. I can't believe their nose and their teeth. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's like, I can't. Okay.
So wait. First of all, let's just use this opportunity to say, hey, listeners, if you would like to get more of content from us, please join us on Patreon at patreon.com/DocuSweeties, $10 a month, and you're going to see the visuals of what we have going on right now. The unedited version of this podcast. Also, you are going to get it like the minute it's available. I mean, the moment we are done filming this, you are going to see it on Patreon. So if you would like that content, go ahead, find us on Patreon and support your girls.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Sean is getting ready for the wedding, and we have introduced a new character. Okay. And that character's name is Johnny, with just one N and an IE at the end. And he has, Chris, speaking of rode hard and put away wet, this man looks like he once was in a failing band in the 1970s, but like somehow got transported to the 2020s or whatever we are right now. He looks like he should have been like Bradley Cooper in A Star Is Born. I mean, just giving all of those vibes. And they get there, and apparently it is Sarah's toothless mother's boyfriend.
Yeah.
And he is like, you want a shot? And Sean's like, no. And he's like, oh, well, you know, you're sober for your wedding. My friends had to pick me up. And both Sean and his son are like, cannot relate, but thank you for being here. And he's like, you want to smoke? Y'all want to smoke? Want to go outside and smoke? And they're like, no, thank you. And listen, Johnny makes Sean look classy. And that is saying a lot. Chris?
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, Sean grabs a juice box, honey, and he's like, juice box, best drink in the world. And you know what? If it's fruit punch flavored, then I would agree. I love a fruit punch juice box. Oh, fruit punch juice box? Truly, the only bad thing about it's too small.
Yep.
Like, I don't understand why they won't make like an adult size fruit juice box.
Yeah, I know.
Listen, that'd be great. Like, I'm sorry, you all can have your White Claws. Those taste horrible. I mean, truly horrible. I can't stand White Claws. I get that people like are so into them, but the truth of the matter is, I would rather just have like a freshly mixed vodka drink with a splash of pineapple juice, or yes, give me an adult size Mott's Mama wants some knots. And this, Sean's son there is like taking this all in or whatever. We also then go and we like pick up back where Destiny is, honey. And Destiny's at her house and she has that roommate, Angela. And just like she had a long conversation with her mom where she was like, this is what I'm doing. And her mom's like, it's a horrible idea. Destiny's roommate Angela like gets the earful of what Destiny's planning, which is to go to Sean's wedding and just ask for 50,000. And literally Angela's like, how are you going to get there? And Destiny's like, with the money that my mom gave me. And she's like, why don't you use that money for the baby inside you? And Destiny's like, because I can get more money from Sean. And then Angela's like, that's the worst idea I've ever heard. And she has this picture of a butterfly on her neck. And those are her eyebrows. And babes, she's right. What Destiny is saying to her is even more ridiculous. What?
She has a tattoo of what looks to me supposed to be a butterfly, but it looks like a moth, and it is on her trachea. It's not even a neck tattoo. Like I have my feelings about neck tattoos. Like I just have my feelings about it. However, a throat tattoo means that you were in a special place in your world, in your life, where you wanted a needle to jut up and down on your trachea to get that imprinted on you. So if that woman is telling you to not get on a plane to try to get $50,000 from some dude who works on cars in Ohio, like maybe you should heed that warning. Everybody who understands Destiny and who are in, relatively better circumstances than her are telling her not to do this thing. And she keeps saying like, all I want to do is get money for this baby. But there are ways to get money for your baby. It's called A job, and B, the county. You do not have to get on a plane and fly to Ohio to ruin this man's wedding because you think he owes you something based on something that is crazy. Again, she has lost her mind. So she gets to the airport and she's like really hot and bothered. And I'm just hoping that she doesn't ruin Sarah's day, because I truly don't believe that Sarah deserves it. So then we go ahead, Chris.
I just want to quickly say, because I think you were going to take the picture off. And before you take off this picture of this woman, does it look like the face of the butterfly has a human face to you? Like I see two eyes and a nose and a mouth. Like it looks like it's a butterfly with her own face as the face of the butterfly. Wow.
It looks like there's like a baby cocoon in it. Yes. Okay. I see what you're saying. Mm-hmm.
That's all I had to say.
Okay. Yes. So then we bounce back to Sarah and her mother, and her mother's like, it's not too late to run away, Julia Roberts. It's not too late to run away. But if we're here, like, let's get you ready. So her and the glam squad go on, and Chris has a lot to say about the makeup they're in. I honestly don't remember this scene. I must have been cooking, but yeah, I think her hair looks cute.
Yeah. I'm going to say this. I am going to talk about her hair, but I want to go back and talk about what happened before this was this Sean dad's, the father-son scene. Okay, so father-son scene happens between Sean and his son, where basically he has to, which by the way, Sean's son is like the best parts of Sean ever and the best parts of Kelly. This is a very attractive person with like good hair and like a better disposition. So as we know, Kelly and Sean had like a whole crying conversation where Sean finally broke down and was like, I know I was a bad dad. And so he like has this conversation with his son about, here, you talk about that conversation, because I know that you had things to say about it. I just want you to gloss over it. Let me go ahead.
Okay, so you guys, first of all, that boy looks like the mother. Okay, a splitting image of Kelly, and it now makes a lot of sense that Kelly's features looks better on a male. Okay, because he's very handsome. 1, 2. The son is so in his trauma and his need to get over his trauma that he explains away Sean's behavior and allows Sean to talk mess about Kelly and blame everything on Kelly. Now, I am sure that Kelly has equally traumatized this boy because of the unsupport and the trauma that she has with dealing with Sean for 6 children, right? So I'm not saying that the son doesn't have a reason to be mad at Kelly, but he is siding with his father only because he's an adult now who can make decisions. And he's not at all thinking about his 8-year-old brother and, I don't know, 12-year-old brother and all the other children that are below him, the 5 other children that are below him that are currently being affected by Sean not being there and choosing to move on. Sean's youngest child is 8 years old. So for that brother to be like, oh yeah, no, I know, like it wasn't easy for you and with mom, and you made the right choices, and I know you tried, and based on what you're telling me right now about how you had an abusive father, like I totally understand how you didn't want to be there to abuse us, so you just left instead, and that was the right choice. Wrong. Wrong.
You're right.
So you are so in your trauma and your whatever it is that Kelly did to you, that you are siding or at least explaining away or at least giving your father some relief from what he has done to you without thinking about what he has done to the rest of your siblings. You are okay because you're 22 and you went to the military and you learned something else and you think you're fine and you've moved on, but you're not. Especially the way that you're not holding your father to task for your younger siblings. And I just was like, wow, the trauma continues. He is going to do damage to his children as well if he is in the place where he is, because it's one thing to forgive your father for what he did to you, but he needed to then say, you know what, like maybe mom wasn't the best, but you contributed to her not being the best. And then he's like, I gave your mother money for the kids, as though like that was his only duty. He had 6 children with her. Y'all, he didn't have 1, 2, or 3. He continued to shoot at the club when he had sex with her. He continued to have sex and bust nuts in her womb to create more kids. Yeah. So like, no, this is not just like 1 or 2 kids and he tried to move on in his life, but Kelly was being a bitter Betty. This is like like a brood. You know what I'm saying? This is like the amount of children that you have when you own a farm.
Yeah.
Children. And
it's an improv team.
Yeah. It's a fucking soccer team. It's a baseball team. It's all of those things. You do not get to walk away from that and say that you tried, but the mother was the problem and she just kept wanting to fight with you and she's the issue. You don't get to do that. So, son, you didn't do a good job of making your father feel better. We now see that you were actually trash and garbage as well, and that you were going to treat the next woman poorly if you can't even understand how your father's actions and perhaps your mother's trauma directly affected you and your siblings and how it still is. So that's what I wanted to say about that.
I get that. I think I have a little more, I think that I come from a place that maybe I feel a little more compassion. So I don't think that the son is garbage. I think that he's still in his trauma and he's only 22. He hasn't worked it out yet, but he's sitting in front of his dad and he feels whatever. And he's trying to make his dad feel better, because when you are the oldest kid or you're in a situation that can be really harsh, you have the task of monitoring your parents' emotions. And so I think that that's something that's also happening. And I also like really appreciated the editors, because when the scene started, they kind of played a version of Sia's Breathe Me, like dun 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 dun. The piano, I don't know. I was very Sia Breathe Me. When I heard that, whenever time you hear the Sia Breathe Me song in a television show or anything around it, you know that like some shit's gonna go down. It's gonna be very, very intense. But let's go back to this Sarah bridal makeup. So she is doing her own hair, honey. Her friends come in. Oh, sorry. I did it right. And this makeup, my loves, is like, it is grays and browns. It is early aughts club. Like I mean, listen, I guess that she might be a goth bride. Look at Walla's face right now. I die for it. But like, I don't mind her hair. Like that's kind of getting bridal, but the colors on this woman's face that she's deciding to do is just, I cannot believe that anyone would do it. Anyone would do it.
The truth is that I honestly don't know. Like your superpower is the fact that you know about bridal stuff. I am the furthest away from being anybody's bride. So like it's never been a thing for me. So that's why I let you talk about it, because I don't know.
Oh, I have things to say about Britney Spears, so don't even worry about it.
Okay.
Black Britney Spears. And I call Black Britney Spears because she spells her name just like Britney Spears does, Britney, which is not how you normally spell Britney. Like Britney from Marcelino in Brittany is Brittany, which is, also an area of France, which it's a French name. So Brittany is literally like the most Southern way to say Brittany, because it's like, how do you spell it? How you say it? Brittany, like I'm surprised it's not Britknee. You know what I'm saying? LOL. That Britney Spears would do that. So, but Black Britney Spears just feels like that. Their mom was like, "Oh, we love Britney." Like, well, it's like that's how you spell it, like, because Britney was probably already a star when Black Britney Spears was born.
Yeah. So I I am happy for Sarah and I want the best for her. And I, hope that Destiny doesn't ruin the wedding. Let's move on. The
Okay.
next couple that we are going to talk about are Lindsay and Deontay. So in this episode, they wake up the next day after he has pounded her vagina to the ends of the earth.
Oh Lord.
And he's like, "How do you like your coffee?" And she says, "Black and sweet." And he's like, "I know that's right." And I'm like, "Geez Louise."
Just like
So
no cream. I just want like 7 packets of cane sugar. Black and sweet, just syrupy sweet. He is, you know what? He is very nice though. I mean, it's hard because he is a nice guy.
yeah, I don't think you're wrong. I think he is a nice guy. He is an absolute idiot, however, but yeah, he's a nice
Sure.
guy.
See, you like
So
French too. You say French words all the time.
so then she and him have a conversation about how often he's going to be able to come to Mississippi and see her. And so she says, "Are you going to tell your mom? Like, how are you going to tell your mom?" He's like, "I'm gonna just tell my mom, I'm moving to Mississippi." And then with all this bravado, and she's like, "Yeah, I've watched the show. I know that's not how that's going to go down." And he's like, "Yeah, I haven't told my mom yet because I don't want her to say anything about it. But it is what it is." And so then we kind of cut from there. And then we have one of these Love After Lockup, in between scenes where it's
Mhm.
not enough to kind of flush out and add to the episode, but they just want to let us know this thing happened. So there's this part where Deontay is like, "Baby, there are so many things that I want to say to you, but it's hard to put into words." And then he goes on to say in his confessional, "Yeah, that's the one thing about me and Lindsay that we got the same. We're both writers." And I said, "Didn't you not just say it's hard to put into words, but now you're saying it's a writer?" I mean, a writer wouldn't have a hard time putting anything into words unless they're having some kind of mental block. But okay, we're gonna go ahead and go from that. So then he says, "From the very first moment you reached out to me, I ain't been nothing but the happiest motherfucker alive." And I said, "You know what? That is poetry. That is a motherfucking poetry. Thank you so much, Deontay." It's like, I just wanted to know if he does he do slam poetry? Let me do it in slam poetry. "Baby, there are so many things to say to you, but it's hard to put into words because your milky white criminal skin has got me a shaking." I just like, Deontay, what is happening? And then he's going to show us some letters of her writing over and over again. And I said, "Deontay, do you know why this woman has all these words for you? Because she's in prison and she literally has nothing to do. So every prison inmate is a goddamn writer. And let me tell you, I've written one in my lifetime, and so was he. He was a damn poet. Because all they have to do is time and a little danky ass library." So it was, I mean, Chris, go ahead.
I just love her writing on these letters is back and forth and lined papers. It remind me of notes from high school. I'm sure I'm sure the writing was very bubbly, very cloudy, just twirl, 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 did she put the note into one of those square folded foundations, we tuck it in. Oh, I forgot how to do that. Oh, you have to take the piece of paper and then you fold one corner down and then you have to fold the bottom up and then you tuck it and then you kind of make this what ends up looking like a ninja
Star.
triangle star. Yeah.
Absolutely. He's like, "I love everything about you, from the squeaky ass laugh to the Mississippi Southern accent of yours."
Yeah, and then he does a version of it and it's cute. He actually does a good Lindsay.
Yeah, but also you are from Virginia, which is also a Southern accent. I won't get over it. I'll never get over this man talking about her accent as though, Chris do top of the morning,
Yeah,
Trina.
I disagree with you. Obviously, listen, when she was there with Blaine, honey, and Deontay was there, again, I made this joke already. It was like, "Good day, sir." He sounds very proper, honey. It's very posh and what's coming out of his mouth. But so basically it's time for him to drop off Lindsay, and bring her back to that person's house. And he's so sad, and kind of the same vibe of Brownwind and Chaz, she's not that sad. She's not that sad. She's not that sad to get out of the car. She's kind of okay, I love you, bye, and get out, okay, well, then time's up, she a little bit can't wait to like leave him. I don't think the sex was good for her. I don't think it made her feel good. I think that I don't think that she's that into him. And I also think that, as we'll find out, I think that she has her sights on someone else. And yeah, so go ahead.
I think that he just is somebody who is used to watch porn sex and so doesn't truly understand the intricacies, especially when you have to realize if you're somebody who's truly connected to somebody else, that they just got out of a situation where they haven't had sex in a long time. Okay. So you can't just come at them with your little monster and attack them as though they're going to love it,
Yeah, like drill him like a concrete. Yeah.
Yeah, like a jackrabbit. So also, like, she is used to having control over how Deontay communicates with her. And so now it's a little overwhelming because it's constantly, I love you. It's constant, like, being around. And so she's just ready to get away from him and be with somebody who truly understands, like, what she's going through and what it feels like. And that is Blaine. So this man is just, she goes home to Blaine. And Deontay is blowing her up on his 12-hour ride home, just like talking about his penis, sending emojis that are eggplants. And I just said to myself, like, listen, I understand what it is like to lead a relationship sex first. But if that person were to send me emojis of an eggplant, I would be like, hold on. I'm sorry, sir. Out of the actual physical bedroom, do not talk about your penis to me. Okay? Don't do it. It's fine. I understand. But there is a time and a place for you to talk about sex. And it's not when I'm trying to just like have a normal day and drink my coffee in the morning. Okay. I'm going to need you to go on ahead and leave me alone when it comes to all of that. So I understand her. I understand the fact that she's now lost control and everything in the outside world is overwhelming. And I get that just Deontay can't understand it and he doesn't. And he behaves thus, which is going to inevitably drive her into the arms of someone else that Chris predicted.
Yeah, I think I'm not the only one. Just side note is I'm gonna bring up a picture, but also during the scene, I also was like, when did she get that ombre? Like, how long? We've been watching the season, and only in this scene did I realize that half her hair is blonde at the end, like very blonde, like dipped in bleach blonde. So just weird thing where other people, please tell me because I know you saw it too. I was like, how and by ombre, I mean you can't even call that an ombre because you're supposed to like blend that. It's just not biolage. It's like literally like if I dipped this hair into bleach and then there was no just like that's bleach and this is brown, yeah, so she's with Blaine, who not only has a house and has better credit, and she talks about his credit, is watching Deontay blow up her phone and is like bah, 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 about it. I mean, I can't understand one word that person is saying truly, but you know what? It doesn't make a difference what's he saying out of that mouth because Lindsay is into it. He offers Lindsay a job. I'm not quite sure what she would do, but run shit. And then I'm putting up a picture, y'all, putting up a picture on Patreon. This is something that was posted in a Facebook Mega Fans Facebook group that I think Mary Pants might have also reposted. And basically, there are pictures of Lindsay and Blaine booed, bup, and Blaine at the end of this scene very much admits what I felt like I already knew, which is that, yeah, I had a little crush on Lindsay. I can't even do it, little crush on Lindsay, whatever, and so, and I think that he's been just waiting it out with his boo. Like he offered her a place, he offered her a job, he has better credit, he has a house, I mean, I think that he probably made love to her in like a Luther Vandross way.
He's like, I'm not a home wrecker, but I think the winds of times are changing. I said, okay, Blaine. I said, okay. You know what? You guys also should follow Mary Pants on Instagram. That's MERRYPANTS. I mean, this has been like the best thing that I have discovered about the 90 Day Fiance / Love After Lockup world. And it's Mary Pants and the comedic memes that come out of this person and just like the tea that comes out of this person. So go on ahead and follow them as Chris named their name. So I think that's really it about them that we wanted to talk about. So we're going to move on to the next couple, and that is going to be Tiffany and Kevin. And as we all know, I love me some Kevin. Even right now, I'm just like rubbing my thighs down to my shin because that man, that little big-headed man, I mean, he just does something to me. It also could be the wine that I'm sipping on, but like he just does something to me. So we open up this episode where we left off last episode, where he's opening the front door. And this is like, I don't know if Tiffany just showed up on his doorstep or if it was planned. But if she just showed up on his doorstep, his mother's reaction was inappropriate. If it was planned, then Tiffany was wrong. So his shirt says, "Stay ace, stay crispy, stay elegant." And I just want to know about the elegant part of that. Did you think you're elegant?
Okay, it's a barbershop, and Ace is the name of the barbershop, but stay Ace, stay crispy, stay elegant, like none of those make sense. Like stay Ace is the name of the thing, stay crispy. I mean, and listen, I'm not a dude, and but you can tell me, Chris, you don't know, but like it's dude speak for like having like a fresh fresh haircut. I'm like, is that crispy? Okay. Okay, fine. Ace and crispy. And then the next word is stay elegant, which I'm like, no, you can't have it all. No, you can't. No, no, absolutely not. I also disagree with you. I think that what Tiffany did was absolutely rude regardless. So basically, I think that you and I agree also on this, that when you are in the presence of parents and elders, you do what you're supposed to do. And people who don't do what you're supposed to do when you're in the presence of elders are shitty. And so like anytime you meet someone who's like, yeah, the parents didn't like me, it's like, because you don't know, you weren't raised right. It's because your parents didn't like you enough to raise you right. So basically, Tiffany comes in like a bat out of hell. Sorry, Wah, go ahead.
You know what? I guess I just didn't understand if the vantage point of her entering the house means that she actually saw the mom. That's the only thing I didn't understand. Go ahead.
Okay, so she comes in like a bat of hell, honey, and she like wants to talk about the underwear, like brings him into the room. But I feel like you could hear when people are in the house, and his son is there too. So it's not even just the mom. It's like she walked into a situation without knowing like what he was in, what was happening, and then pretended. And also, like, when she was confronted, she didn't say, like, oh, I didn't know you were here. She was, like, very much like, well, I just thought I had to get rid of this, whatever. So she comes in, is, like, having a conversation about the panties again, like, like, you're not, and she does call him out. She's like, I'm never going to get a straight answer from you. I'm never going to get the whole picture. And she's right, because that's exactly what he does. And he's like, well, these are probably Kayla. She's like, of course they're Kayla's. And he's like, well, like, get a DNA test on them. And she's like, whatever. And then the mom comes a knocky, knock, knock. And this mom is like, I'm here. I'm queen. You're in my son's house and my grandson is here. And you just barged in and started yelling. His child is right here.
So definitely, can we connect? Are you going to come say hi to us? Because what you're doing right now is being mad rude. And yeah. I don't trust you as far as I can pick you up and throw you. And because I cannot pick you up and throw you, that means I don't trust your ass. So also, I love that power move from the mom. I think that it was very much appropriate. I also think you're right, Chris. If you see a situation, then you got to go say the hi to the parent. Like, you just have to. I don't know if it's because we're ethnic, we're people of ethnicities, that it is just something that you must do. You must go in and pay homage to the elders. I just love the way he's like, so you gonna hold old panties over my head? And I said, the visual of somebody holding old panties over your head is exciting and disgusting at the same time.
Exciting! Stay crispy, stay elegant, Wah.
Stay crispy. Them panties were crispy. Okay? The panties were crispy. So there's that. So I like the way the mom did that because Tiffany was being rude. And then when they go out into the go out into the living room, all I'm seeing is like a black shirt and Vans on Tiffany. And I think, oh, maybe she just came from work and she kind of wanted to get that out. And I see her reasoning, but also I don't understand it as a, minority, as a daughter of an immigrant. I don't understand that. But so the mother is just like, hey, so I don't trust you. And I know that Kayla's crazy, but at least I know that Kayla loves my son, because she wouldn't have treated my son the way you treated my son on national TV to make him have to knock a pussy ass out.
Wah. I know you want like some sort of, I should get a shirt made for you. Like, I don't know what, I know. I'll do something for you. Your birthday is coming up. I know.
It's like a double entendre. It's like, knock a pussy ass out. Please knock my pussy ass out. Also, it's really hard for me to say the PUSS word. Why? So that's why I'm like into it.
You wouldn't know.
I mean, you wouldn't know, but like, I just like, I don't know. I'm gonna have to, Go ahead, Chris.
Okay, so basically, yeah, the mom, they have a conversation where she calls out Tiffany and she's like, "You didn't treat my son right. Like, I don't understand. Like, you were really rude to him before. Like, why would I even like you now? You just walked in the house. You're like, you're very trashy." And Tiffany's trying to like, well, we gotta like build something on trust, and I'm just trying to like do that, and I just Tiffany is like trying her hard to not be a complete bitch to his mom, but it's like not the best. And the mom kind of like, yeah, says like a fat shaming comment. Because to me, it's a little fat shaming if it's like, I wouldn't trust you as far as we can throw you, and I can't throw her. And I was like, okay, well, God bless. And then she said, this is exactly what she said. I don't trust her as far as I can throw her, which isn't far, is what she said. I was like, oh, okay. And then basically she's like, I just don't want to see him miserable all the time. And I was like, oh, ma'am, that's the face you made. That's actually his face. 100%.
Yeah.
Like that's,
Yeah.
I can't imagine that person. I mean, that person's face is going to always be like that.
Yep. That's exactly what I thought too. I said, oh no, his face is a face of miserables. Like,
yeah,
his is a face that chronically will look unhappy just because of the structure of it, which everything you had to do with.
Yeah. Do you hear the people singing a song of angry men? It is the music of a people who will not be slaves again. I mean, listen, every song of Les Mis I know. Don't you, Eve? Every morsel, every note. I see. Oh my God! And the whole stage is going to turn around at one time. It's on that rotating turnaround tourney. Oh my God, Les Mis. Les Mis is such a beautiful musical, and I love it so much. But you know what's not beautiful? His face. Wow.
Listen, I'm gonna bring up a picture of his face, and I'm gonna say, look at this lip. Listen, there's something so masculine about him that like it doesn't matter if his face isn't beautiful. It doesn't matter. It does not matter to me because like there's just something so dominant and masculine about him that like I don't care about anything else. But the mother, Tiffany's like, it's almost like she wanted to like rub her ponytail and pull it down at the same time while being like, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but the truth is that like I'm gonna always look out for me, and your son is a fucking liar / gaslighter. So I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is that he's gonna have to be a better human to fuck with me. Mm-hmm. And right now, the trash that you have raised is not good enough. So neither are you. Like I said, Tiffany, read that mother, because the truth is that Kevin is the way he is. Now that you're a Christian, I'm happy for you, Mom. But Kevin is the way he is because of however you were in his formative years. So go on ahead and take responsibility for the trash ass gaslighter that you created. And I'm trying to make him better. And if you want to be on the side of that bitch ass Kayla, then go on ahead and be. But she's toxic, and I'm trying to get your son to not be toxic and to say how he feels and to be honest. So let's move on, Chris. I think we're done with them, right? Yeah. Next people we're going to talk about is Black Britney Ray Spears. Okay. So I found that Chris and Britney have a lot in common. I think that I feel like I want Chris to just talk about all of the things that they have in common.
Okay.
Because I'm watching this, and the conversation that Britney had with her dad is remnant of several conversations that I have witnessed Chris Farah have with her father. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I'll tell you the many ways in which Britney and are similar. First of all, we both like VC, that Veuve Cuckoo, honey, because they pop that orange bottle because they're sitting at dinner. She gets her way, honey. She said she was hungry, so she pops the champagne. I was like, yes. And it's an expensive champagne. Good for her. Not like super expensive. It's like just moderate. You know what I'm saying? Like there's definitely more expensive ones, but also like it's not well. Okay, so basically she doesn't waste any time. She's like, when do you want to get married? Because, we got to like do this thing. She's like, I don't want this to be a hush ring. And I'm like, we're like, what's a hush ring? And she lets us know that a hush ring is when you give someone a ring that's not the promise ring that you already gave her, but the engagement ring, just to shut her up about the wedding, but still don't think they're ever going to get married. So she's like, cool. But when's the date? Because we need to have a real big ass wedding. I mean, like I have like 200 people on my side and you have like 200 people on your side. And honey, I want it all. I want violins. I want cellos. I want steak. I want fish. And I was like, I don't want fish in my wedding, but I do want chicken. I also want a harp. I want a jazz quartet, honey. I want a harp. And ding, 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 ding. Oh, I totally want that. No, I love violins. I love string instruments, honey. You can like string me along with that baby boobs. Like yep. And there are going to be some belly dancers. I mean, it's going to be a whole ass thing. Talk about Instagrams, by the way. If anyone wants like the most ridiculous Instagram of all time, it's Lebanese weddings. Okay. At Lebanese weddings is bananas. Anyway, so they're eating chips, and I always love when you go and get chips, and there's like the tricolor chips. It's just like a fun thing. I'm just like, oh, okay. They're not making those fresh, you know that for sure, but like they are buying it, and they thought about upping their chipping game as a restaurant, which I appreciate. Now I don't know if they're like eating any guac or any salsa. I know you want to make a comment about the chips.
Okay, so my favorite food is chips and salsa, and I was wondering what the dip was. I was wondering so hard what the dip was, but also at the same time, Brittany was like, what did my dad say? Okay, and I'm gonna go talk to that nigga. I'm gonna go talk to him. So she goes ahead and talks to him when she realizes that the man is trying to block her blessings. And she's like, excuse me, why did you tell Ray that he couldn't marry me? And the dad is like, listen, I don't know what is actually going on in your relationship. And I don't know if there's any abuse. And she's like, listen, I know my last relationship caused trauma in the family to where y'all don't trust my judgment, but Ray is not that person. I have been dating him for years now. And the dad is like, yeah, years where he was in prison for some of that. And Brittany's like, no, sir. Yes, he was in prison. Whomever. I have been living with him for like a year and a half now. And I need you to trust me and know that he has never shown any signs of aggression. And please do not say no to this wedding, because this is what I want. I am middle-aged. I need to get married ASAP, and I would like you to walk me down the aisle. So do not do this. Do not do this. And Ray is just like, well, maybe we should just go on ahead and get married at the courthouse. And she's like, no. For all the reasons that Chris just explained, I am not doing that. I can't see that for me. I can see that for somebody else. And Ray's like, listen, low key, I have restitution that I have to pay. So the idea of not paying for a super expensive wedding is really inviting to me. And that's what I want to go through. Like, the man is like, you are my baby girl. Use my baby girl. Okay. And you got a lot to learn. And right now I am not willing to give that convict my blessing. And she's like, he didn't kill nobody. And the dad's like, it doesn't matter. He was in prison. And personally, my dad is asking me to meet the person that I'm dating. And I'm like, absolutely not, sir. Absolutely not. I didn't tell him absolutely not. But in my mind, I'm like, absolutely not. I'm not telling that person that you want to meet him. And we are just, it's just because my dad has never met anybody. And he is really excited about it because I think he truly is, and I'm getting emotional, sad in his heart, that my life has turned out the way it has. So I feel bad, but like, I get it. So I get it from her father's point of view, and I get it from her point of view of like, listen, my life is what it is, and I didn't expect it to be that way. But please just give this person your blessing, because I don't feel comfortable getting married, because what I want to do is have you walk me down the aisle for that. So, Chris.
Okay. I love you so much. And so, real talk, I know what it's like to also feel like my life did not turn out the way it did. But I mean, truly. And I will just say that time is this thing and age is this thing. But think that they are they're constructs that we have put on ourselves. And if we could somehow let go of that and let love flow when it does, and know that there is an abundance of it in the universe for us that we get in different ways, I do think it helps. But I understand this conversation, and I know what you're talking about, and I know what I also know and feel, which is very similar.
So I feel Brittany in this moment. I truly do, because I feel like the father, truly doesn't understand the pressure and the stress and everything that is put on Brittany in this moment. And she finally has found somebody who is good to her. And yes, there are problems involved, but this person actually is good to her. And she's willing to take on the stress of his restitution, even though, like, yes, she fights it in the storyline of Love After Lockup, but she needs her father to be on her side at this point, and he's not. And she's pissed. And I get it.
I
And
know.
so even though like her wedding designs are not my fantasy, and I had to unpack a lot of like frustration that I had with her, because I was like, girl, like, don't be putting all this on. You don't need this wedding. Like, this is stupid. How dare you think these thoughts? But the truth is that I guess I gave up a long time ago. And so I didn't have any of these thoughts. And so I'm envious of women in the face of not finding a man, in the face of abuse from the man that you actually do find, still having this fantasy of what your wedding day would be. I honor it, even though I'm low-key judge it, but I honor it because I'm like, I haven't allowed myself to fantasize that much. And so I feel Brittany in this. And Chris, if you have anything else to say, I'm good on this.
I love you so much. No, I love you so much, and I get it. Let's move on to a real fun couple. Just, you know, ooh, honey, let's bring them up. Bronwyn and, oh, I wish at the same time. Bronwyn and Chaz.
Girl.
Okay, so much like Deontay is like, I don't want to go back. I really want to like skip another day and come back to work. Like Chaz is driving. He's like, he calls Bronwyn. He's like, guess what, babe? I just changed my flight. She's at an internet cafe doing her homework. She's like, no, why? Just leave. Just go. I thought I had gotten rid of you. I put on a new weird hair, like ponytail extension. I mean, it's definitely not Miona from Jibri Miona. Like, you know, like it makes that look like, I mean, Crystal. I don't have to tell you this like hair that she puts on is not it. She does her like famously. He's like, no, babe, I'm gonna come back and pick you up at this stupid internet cafe you're at. Like, he's like, fine, I love you, bye. You know, like I love you, bye becomes like one word. So yeah, was just like, has to like put away her laptop. He picks her up in the car and he takes her to like a hotel, which looks like a suite. Then she opens up her laptop and she's like doing her Spanish homework, you know, and plays the video. Go ahead.
So I took a video of it because I was so fucking annoyed with him. Like, dude, this woman just told you that she had homework to do and you're going to stand across from her, sit across from her and just ask her like a series of questions that like don't make any fucking sense. Like, leave this woman alone. I took a video of it, okay, because that's how upset I was about it, about them talking to each other in baby talk. And I was so pissed because he's like, I'm so excited about Brandy. Brandy is my friend, and that's my friend. I'm not gonna ask her for sex. And then he literally just asks her for sex, and so she's just like, "How can you ask me for sex and change? I wanted to have sex with you in the cabin, but you just switched gears so quick." And I was like, "Bitch, you did not want to have sex with him. You don't want to have sex with him now. You're trying to figure out how to get out of sex with him." But I took video of it, and whatever reason, Streamcast or whatever this is called is not accepting the video, so I'm gonna take the volume off and I'm just going to show it. Those of you on Patreon, fine. For those of you who are not on Patreon, you won't be able to hear this because honestly, my mic isn't up to it. So he's rubbing on her back.
No, I'm done.
Yeah. Ponytail. Oh.
Yeah, I'm done with my work. I want to be with you.
Then the sleep with me pillow. Honey, I'm so glad you got the sleep with me pillow. Subtle subconscious advertising. Please sleep with me. How do you want to get in the bed? I don't know. How do you want to get in bed? Did we ever talk about the fact that Chaz had whole brain surgery? There's a scar, honey, around his head like he did, like that. Did he get hair implants? Like, what is that? Oh, maybe if I wonder if it was a hair toupee implant or my love that he had like a brain tumor. I mean, he has a scar that goes across it, or he got stabbed. I don't have to tell you.
Okay. Are you
ready?
ready?
Like this? Do you want to?
No.
Oh God.
No.
I'm gonna give you a sexy lap dance. I just need to further somehow not just get in this bed. Like I will do whatever it takes to not get in the bed. So you sit there and I will dance. You can't dance in a bed.
I'm gonna give you a sexy lap dance. You want to lay here? No, I don't want it. I'm gonna lay here and I don't know. You want to go? Okay, and then time for the producers. Bye, producers. Bye.
Leave. Just like I wanted him to leave.
Bye. I have to give him a little bit of something so that he can get on the fucking plane and not come back to me. I already made a choice to marry you, like, and you won't budge. And I have to choose between my friends and my husband. And I don't want to choose my husband because, like, I know my friends for longer, and my friends are gonna be so sad, and so is my daughter apparently. But I don't want to. I'm not using drugs. I'm okay.
Oh yeah, that's true. I mean, first of all, do you think that they had sex in this moment? Do you
I
think
didn't think about it because, like, I feel like she gave him a lap dance.
Yeah.
I feel like she just grinded on his crotch. Like, I feel like it was just like, I don't know. There's tricks. I don't know. I'm not saying that I have done it in the past. Maybe I have, but there are tricks to get them to leave you the fuck alone.
Yeah. Do you think that if she grinded on his lap and he like orgasmed, and maybe that was like, oh, and then she was like, oh, I guess we can't have sex, right away because it's like you're so old. I can't imagine that you can like just get it up hard, unless he's like, I know one way, and she's like, no, because anything worse. I mean, we've talked about this many times, and this is like too much information. I'd much rather have sex than I would give a blowjob to someone I don't like. Anyway, I don't want to. Yeah, that's just a thing. I think I'm not alone. Okay. Anything else about them, Boo?
I mean, just no.
I think there was something. No, say it.
No, I don't like watching a woman try to appease a man, and I don't like a man try to coerce a woman into having sex. Like, just be okay with not having sex with her until she gets to Kentucky. Like, put on a pornography. Put on pornography, and just handle it yourself until your wife gets there, until she's comfortable. Like, this is your wife. You have for eternity together, supposedly. So there's no real reason to force her into having sex with you or to make her feel guilt about it. You have all of your life. Unless you know that, there's a chance that you'll never have sex with her. And your whole idea is that, like, I wanted to have sex with this, like, sexy ex-meth head. I don't know. Anyways, let's move on to Chance and Taylor.
Okay. We didn't have them last week, but don't worry. We got them this week. And Chance and Taylor. So we pick up and Taylor is going wedding dress shopping. And she's with a friend, and the friend looks true. Like, Wall wrote this note down, is that Bobby? Oh no, it's Sarah. It's true though that Sarah looked just like Bobby, but then she had to tell us that Bobby was still in treatment, and so she couldn't come out or whatever. It's just interesting how, just like how Brittany and Marcelino and her like girlfriend Shannon kind of look alike. I feel like there's these pockets where women kind of look alike. Like, these women kind of look alike too, like Bobby and Sarah. Like, it's just a certain look of a certain, like, certain place, honey. And low key, I also feel like if I moved to any of these places, I would just clean up, God bless. But so she is going wedding dress shopping, and I do have a picture of her dress that she ends up picking. It's right there. And listen, I'm going to be honest. I don't think it's a bad dress. I think it looks exactly like, and I mean, this is exactly the cut of dress I had for my debutante when I was 16. It was a princess cut dress with like a little shoulder like that, a little like, maybe it wasn't so deep cut because again, I was 16, like having a debutante, but like it's very much, it looked just like my debutante dress, except I didn't have also like massive tattoos. And her tattoos are so interesting. I mean, by interesting, I mean like it looks like a horse's face on that arm, or on that shoulder. I don't know what it is. But I do like one part. Her tattoos make the dress look less terrible, or makes the dress look terrible. Is that what you said?
Listen, I'm just going to say it. Okay.
Yep. Come out and say it.
I don't want to offend any tattoo people who have tattoos out there, but like that, her placement of the tattoos make her dress look absolutely terrible. And I don't know what it is. Maybe she needs a tan. And I don't know about white people or people with light skin and like what would make things look better. But right now, the way, if you're watching on Patreon, you see what I'm saying. The way that her tattoos are placed and the color of them completely distracts from the opulence and the beauty of whatever we're supposedly supposed to see from this wedding dress. Like, it just looks like a mishmash because there's like lace, there's bling, and then there's like a horse's face on her like upper left décolleté. and it's like the colors are like pink and blue, and you're like, what is this, Lisa Frank? We don't know. And then down her like right arm is like black and white, a rose, and then like a woman's gap tooth lips. And you know, I'm a gap tooth bitch, so I'm okay with gap tooth lips, but I don't understand what's happening. It is too much happening to draw the eye in. And so maybe I'm thinking like, is it a tan, Chris? You tell me. I don't know.
No, I think a tan would definitely work, a little spray tan, especially when like on white on white like that, you know, like for sure a little tan. It's got to be, you know, yeah, it's too much white, literally. I mean, it's like there's a paleness and everything. Now, of course, when Sarah sees this, you know, she's like, you look beautiful. And she's like, you know, God bless. And she's like, you think Chance is going to cry when he sees me? And she's like, yes, he's going to cry. She's like, good, because no one wants to marry a man that doesn't cry. And I will agree with you. Like I've said this before. When I come and get married, and we'll see if that ever happens, but if I'm walking down an aisle and I know that like I will do whatever it takes in my entire power to look as gorgeous as I possibly can in that moment. It's going to require a lot of Ativan because it'll give me anxiety, but I will do whatever it takes to be like as pretty as possible. If I'm coming down an aisle looking as gorgeous as possible to someone who wants to marry me for the rest of my life, and he's just there like, I will turn around and walk away. I absolutely need you to look at me like this. And this is Patreon, but I'll just try and describe it. First, you see me. You gasp, your breath gone. This eye starts to like quiver and your eyes completely water and you're like, holy shit, she's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. How did I get so lucky? All of these thoughts racing through your head. You look at my dad, you're like, oh my God, I'm getting a gift from God from this man. You know, my dad gives that man a little like nod or whatever, shut up, blah. And I'm like walking, very slow walking, you know what I'm saying? And like, I'm coming in this aisle, honey. And like, if I don't see like Visine style tears, like cut and onion style tears, I need him to wail like an ethnic grandmother at a funeral. If he does not show the emotion of understanding this moment and how lucky he is, I will call it off, baby boos, and I'll have a great ass time with my friends, and I will be like, bye. Because another thing is, I'm going to pay for the whole wedding. I know that. So, like, if you're not up to snuff at this wedding, babe, you don't stay. Yep. Go ahead. Wash.
Everybody,
I'll get a tan. I will be tan. I'll get a tan.
my friend is a crazy person and I love her for it. I have never fucking thought about that in my entire life. I just don't know. What? I don't know. And listen, I'm gonna be on Xanax while she's on Ativan to try to help calm my nerves so I could help calm her nerves. In fact, don't invite me to the wedding.
You're rude. You know you're in
exactly.
it.
Don't invite me. Okay. I know you want me to be in it. I know you want me to be in it, but don't invite me because I am going to be like, me and Monique are going to have to like do drugs on the side in order to get through this.
You just said you're doing Xanax. That's fine. I also read this, by the way, this whole thing where like a bunch of millennials and like younger people are just like doing shroom chocolates at weddings now. It's like a big thing. And so like, maybe I'll bring you some shroom chocolates. So you can do Xanax, you can do a Xanax, you can have some wine, but you better not get too drunk. And then, I mean, right before I get married, you can get drunk later. But then once I walk down the aisle and once we're out of the church, you know, I'm having a very like Catholic wedding. God bless. We'll see. I don't know. Well, I mean, who knows? There's going to be harps. Okay. But then after that part, you can take whatever you want and I'll have some shroom chocolates and then we'll just like dance the entire night. I have like my playlist already done. You know, it'll be a lot of slut dancing. It's gonna be like Britney. It's gonna be Beyonce. Don't even worry about it.
You know what's funny is that you're like, oh, you know, just don't be too drunk. And I just want you to know that I'm a daughter of an immigrant. Okay, I'm ethnic, and I will never embarrass anybody in front of anybody's family ever in my life. Even if I am drunk, I'm like, excuse me, family, I'm gonna go. My father's ill. I have to leave. I would never embarrass you. I want you to know that. I would never.
Hey.
I would never embarrass you.
I love you.
There's that. And yeah, so, I mean, the truth is that she shouldn't fucking marry Chance because he's buying cars with rims. And this bitch thinks she might be pregnant. And all I can think of is like, oh, is it that easy for everyone just to like Just get pregnant. It's just so easy. You just find a man in prison. You already have 3 kids and like a drug addicted sister, and you just move them into your home, and then you just get pregnant. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for your success in life, and congratulations on your impending nuptials.
Not successful, because she's literally like, yeah, I'm really late and I'm like nauseated, and her friend's like, are you gonna take a test? She's like, no, because I just like don't want to take a test, because then it means like I have to do a bunch of shit. And I'm like, girl, you're already gonna be doing a bunch of shit. You not knowing is you not dealing with. When you don't know something, it isn't like you don't have to deal with it when it comes to health stuff. It's one of the dumbest thought patterns ever. Like, I don't want to know, because then this, it's like, it's already there. You not knowing is the disservice. Like,
Yeah,
it's already happening, and you not knowing is you not knowing what's happening in your own body. It's
her
just
and
not
Puppy
cool.
are fools. Her and Puppy
Yes.
are fools, and I'm sad we didn't get the ending of what Puppy's situation was like. But I know people like this in real life who are like, oh, I don't want to go to the doctor. Like, I think I might have cancer because of like all the symptoms, but like I don't want to go because then it won't be real. What? No, it doesn't. That doesn't mean that at all. Like, it just means that like now you don't have an opportunity to get in front of it.
Yeah.
You don't have an opportunity to like solve it before it is irrevocably damaging the rest of the people in your life. But you know, that's them and that's me. And now I know how other people like maneuver through life. And in the words of Chris Farah, God bless, God bless, God bless.
God bless, honey. And God bless, you will be at my wedding. Okay. Absolutely. How dare you? Okay. So that is the episode for us. They did give us a great teaser for what's going to be happening. So it did look great. Think about the teaser wall.
I mean, I don't remember truthfully because I was cooking and doing other things at the same time. But also I watch it on YouTube, so I don't know. But if it was great, I mean, I just feel like Love After Lockup is a solid show. Like, I know I feel like it's gonna give even if 2 couples are boring AF, like the rest of the 18 will be so interessante. And so I'm always interested in next episode. But here, you guys, here's what we want to tell you about. We are watching and going to talk about the Armie Hammer House of Hammer docuseries. That's the docuseries part of this. We've already done one docuseries, The Most Hated Man on the Internet. And now this is our second docuseries, The House of Hammer, which is talking about Armie Hammer and his fake BDSM.
Oh, it's not House of MC Hammer?
Oh, about Hammer. Hammer. Yeah, you know, it's also not
too legit to quit. Hey.
It's also not Arm & Hammer baking soda, which you would think that it would be. And I had to Google it to really, truly understand why it wasn't actually Arm & Hammer baking soda. It's not your company? No, their company is like Oxy Petroleum or something, like some oil or whatever. Not Arm & Hammer Johnson & Johnson royalty. So anyways, if you guys want that content, we will have that coming up as soon as possible. So please go on ahead and watch it. It's currently on Discovery Plus. I don't know where else it's on because they have built-in commercials. So it must be somewhere else where there's commercials. So please go on ahead and watch that if you guys want to have context to what we're going to be talking about. But I love to talk about American tycoon royalty. Like, I love to talk about, like, I want to talk about the Vanderbilts. I want to talk about the Hiltons. Like, I want to talk about this rich, insidious, crazy American family money. And that is what the Hammers are.
Yeah, it's very intense. Okay, so that's on the docket, my loves. For more information, you can always follow us on our social medias. We are on Instagram heavily, and that is DocuSweeties. We're also on TikTok, DocuSweeties 2. We have a Twitter, which who knows what happens there, DocuSweeties, probably nothing. And I mean, if we have a Facebook, so just Instagram is where I would go if I were you. And that just, you know, gives you little tips, little tricks, little like things we're coming up with. You know, we're fun on that. So DocuSweeties across the board. Thank you so much for listening. And what if you wanted to like see us in all our glory and like the pictures we're putting up? How would you do that again, Boo?
You would go to patreon.com/DocuSweeties. It's $10 a month. It's a good time. Once we get enough people and enough like, then we're going to start to go live, you know, because then we can actually have you guys join us and interact with us. But we need to get the PayPal. So if you guys would like to provide us with a little extra support, you know, support with getting these videos edited from our amazing editors that we're using, trying to get this content out to you, that would be absolutely fabuloso. So please tell your friends, go on ahead and give us a 5-star or rate us on wherever you're listening, Spotify, Google Plus, Apple Podcasts, or wherever in the world and other podcast platforms that you are listening to us. We absolutely appreciate it. So thank you for being dedicated listeners. And we want you guys to have a fantastic evening or day or week, whatever time you're listening to us. All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Hi. Hi.